Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, one of the most decisive, killingest Protoss players in the world, and one of the ones who is very hard to finish off because his ability to make Dark Templar comebacks is a thing of legends. This is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Zest. And he is skipping his scout to go Cybercore Nexus very early. No scout whatsoever. His opponent also scouting rather late, rather greedily, going for a command center on the low ground, a Marine into reactor build. This is SpeCial. Now, SpeCial is the kind of guy who sometimes doesn't produce off the barracks, gets the factory down, then gets the reactor. I personally dislike that build. I love the quick reactor. I love getting lots of Marines out there. I think it's a good way of playing. And notice SpeCial is checking for Proxy Void Ray automatically with that Marine during this small window of time before an Adept could be arriving across the map. SCV does come on in, sees everything's normal and says, no worries, let's go back home. Factory comes down after that. A very tightly timed factory that went down right on 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Depot there. And we expect the second gas to go down as well. A little late on that second gas. That's curious. Is he going to swap that factory onto the reactor anyway, maybe? Because it looks like a bit more of a mineral-focused build order. Interesting. No bunker for SpeCial. He's going to rely on the Marines. He is going to start one now. But he's going to rely on 3 Marines to deal with that first Adept. That SCV needs to pull back. Raises the wall. And the Marines there. Very nice micro on the Marines, but Zest, not to be perturbed, does get a hit on a Marine and a hit on the SCV. Only takes 1 hit point of damage so far. Second Adept is here, and he's actually delayed the bunker long enough that he's now causing trouble. SpeCial's starting 2 Reapers, but SpeCial's in trouble. This is a bit of a mess up. And SpeCial does not focus fire the damaged Adept, which means she's still regenerating shields even during this. And this is a bit of a disaster. SpeCial getting disrupted from very early on in the game. And this is one of those things, he's a little bit more prone to have this happening to him than someone like Clem, where this never happens. Now you could argue that's because SpeCial's a little bit more discerning than Clem and trying to get little leads here and there where possible. He's going to go 2 Reaper Hellion, which would have been really good for cleaning up these Adepts earlier, but it's a bit too late for that now, I think. That being said, if he sees the DT Shrine, that would be good. And you see that wall off, that's definitely something where he wants to get in there, and he will. Very good scout here by SpeCial. Sacrifices the Reapers. He's going to still try and fly the Hellion, or run the Hellion, drive it in, I should say. It doesn't fly, it drives. He's going to drive the Hellion into the main base and look for 2 probes. And we'll get 1, not too bad. The Reapers, of course, already killed 1. So 2 probe kills overall, and he's going to go straight for a Raven. Now, against the DT drop, this opening, especially with the damage that went down at the start, and this is a pretty disastrous start for a SpeCial. Seeing the DT Shrine keeps him alive here, but it doesn't necessarily put him in the lead. I would say, in fact, he is still behind in this game, because I think such an early disruption to your natural and losing so many units, especially when there's such an investment, it's just a bad trade for Terran. Terran is behind the curve. Zest knows there's less chance of his DTs doing damage, so he drops an immediate third base, knowing his opponent has to respect that. And he hasn't even started Blink yet. He's just like, yeah, it's going to be ages till you can even counterattack me. This is cool. I'm just going to like fly in here, run in with some DTs, see what I can do. And there's no turrets or anything, so he's only got detection in 1 area at a time. Cyclone, going to help him zone out that Warp Prism. Zest wisely just pulling on back there. Now, of course, yeah, he could try to one-shot the Cyclone. 3 DT hits would one-shot that if he was able to land. Good micro on both sides. SpeCial going for 3 barracks and +1 weapons. Turret on the far right. No turret on the left just yet. Last time Zest was in this scenario against SpeCial that I saw in a best of 5. I believe it was the EPT Korean Weekly Cup, maybe a month ago. And that was Zest just going straight Psystorm, fully saturating his third base, and then just going lol, 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 Psystorm the movie as army as it's coming across and you know, laugh from there. I don't know if that's something that he's stuck with at all, since he was so known for that for a few weeks and the Terrans kind of put their heads together and figured out ways to kill it. For now, it seems like he's investing in Blink Stalkers to get a little bit of map control. Blink is on the way, so he'll use those to kind of wear down a push as it moves across. My big question is, what do we see from there? Is it just 8-gate charge? Because there's no sentries or anything, right? He's got 2 Archons in a Prism. Is he expecting the Raven? Oh, he's expecting the Raven of SpeCial to come and drive it, or a Widowmine drop to come in. So Zest is kind of anticipating something like that. So he's like, yeah, Stalkers on the right, Archon drop on the left. But those Stalkers need to get across this map. And right now, it is just 5-gate, No forge. Charge, forge, and it's just going to be a zealot transition. No sentries. Pure zealot stalk of 58 probes right now for Zest. Now the Archon drop, he's looking for this Raven. He knew this Raven was going to be out there. Oh, the Stalkers! Oh my god, he actually goes for that. Oh wow, what a wild move from Zest. He ends up trading 3 Stalkers. Does lose a 4th Stalker there as well, so... I mean, Special does get a pretty decent trade, but... Oh no! Special, no. Pull that drop back. Okay, thankfully he at least spots these depths. What he doesn't realize though is that Zest knows about that drop. He's got an observer. Zest is really good whenever he knows there's a Raven build. He hides his observer out to the left and he brings it in if he can snipe it. And that gives him great vision. Oh, he's caught out in the open. His Marines do not have shields, but a lot of Marauders come in from the right side. So Zest has to withdraw there. He thought he caught his opponent out. Oh my god. Oh, big mistake there for Zest. He's going to try and wear down some of these units, but good patience from Special not popping another stim just yet. Now he's protected with a Viking, but that 8 Marine drop, that's the one which we need to hope he doesn't fly into its death. Zest here, definitely in some dicey waters after losing his Prism and so many expensive units, but it's 5 ranks. This is kind of all in for Special. That being said, because Special's got so much... Oh, fuck me! He flies it into it. He thought, because there's a distraction, there's no way you get that. Wait, what? He saves it! He saves 6 Marines and the medevac! He can just unload that, rejoin it with the frontal army now. Now he's thinking about pushing in. There is not much to defend it, but there's no reason for him to push in. I like him setting up. I like him looking to scare his opponent. He's going to go for a 3 Widowmine drop. Does Zest know about that? He does not. Zest there is going to struggle to deal with the Widowmines, but I don't... Yeah, a little bit hurried, a little bit scrappy with the way Special executed that. That being said, 5 workers is well worth it. He's going to go for the natural. Uh-oh, battery overcharge could go down there. He's got to disengage. Special has to pull back right now. Overstays his welcome for just a second. He tries to pull back. Skirmish with those Stalkers, but that's still too close. No. Special needs to get out of here. This is a really bad fight for Special. And he's overcommitting into battery overcharge right now. He does get the DT, which is good, but I think there's just been a bit too much healing. And now he loses all of his medevacs to the Stalkers while the Immortal Zealot cleans up the Marauders. That was an overcommitment there from Special. He actually needed to just pull back for a moment, wait for a little bit more time. Zest barely had the numbers to defend him. But with the shield batteries, you know, it was a bit too powerful. I think Special felt a bit more urgency to push. And I talked about the past where Zest is going Storm. He's going into Colossus off such a greedy economy. He had both gases on the 3rd, which prompted Special to say, hey, if your 3rd's fully saturated against what I'm essentially doing, which is a 2-base all, and this is a super slow 3rd command center, you should die. And he did fight too close. This battery here is fantastically positioned. It allowed him to fight there. Special pulled back, but the line could still fall forward and then blink back into the shield battery. So a little bit of a problem there for Special. 2 Widowmine drop is going to get caught here by Zest's Stalkers. Okay. Only loses one of the Widowmines. Can he defend this attack? I think Special still has a pretty fearsome army, but it's the Immortal Sentry that causes him problems. And with the Observers seeing everything, that's the problem. Yeah, if Zest can see everything like this, he's almost impossible to beat. This choke point's going to work against Special force fields. I do like the lift on the command center. That's actually quite nice, but these Immortals are absolute slayers of Marauders. 3 of them stuck in the back for now, though, as one of them had to pick up to safety. The Zealots come forward. These Widowmines not really getting the biggest hits. Good spreadies from Zest. And it looks like he's got the numbers. It's +1/1 for the Terran. Only +1 attack for Zest, but he keeps on warping in extra Zealots just enough to buffer. And this stim's going to wear out. And if you stim again, your bio is deep, deep orange. Oh, yeah. See what I'm talking about? One more stim goes in. The line crumbles. Zest takes game 1. We'd had a lot of good hot pot that week already. We're like, hey, let's get hot pot one more time before we leave. So we went to this hot pot lunchtime. It's pretty empty. It's like a Monday lunchtime or some shit like this, right? So the place is pretty empty. We've got the restaurant mostly to ourselves. And we ordered this fucking feast of hot pot. And it was absolutely just, oh my God, it was so good. Chinese guy ordered a lot of organ meat. That was, I ordered just a mix of, you know, I like my mushies, I like some meat and stuff. Chinese guy, a lot of organ meat. I tried a few different bits. I'm usually not a big fan. I tried a few things. I'm like, oh, this is so gross. And then Roddy's like, oh, I want those spicy meatballs. And The guy's like, dude, no, you don't want these. These are like fucked up level of spice. These are like ridiculous. He's like, dude, even Chinese people don't like these. They're too strong. Roddy's like, look, I know you're trying to protect Mr. Whitey here, but I ain't no bitch. I can fucking handle it, okay? I love spicy stuff. And the guy's like, he's like, he's like, okay, all right, man, whatever. Like, he's like, I don't really like him myself. Like, I don't know, you know, this shit's pretty strong. So we're ordering, and Roddy's like, yeah, I want this. And the waiter's like, oh, are you sure? And Roddy's like, yeah, I want 2 servings. And they're like, what, you want 2 meatballs? And Roddy's like, no, I want 2 servings of these spicy meatballs. The waiter came back to our table, no joke, fucking 4 different times to confirm we wanted to order them, because they're like, there's 2 white dudes. No, our Chinese mate is just like, he's like, yeah, 100% sure. They're like, do you want them to not be spicy? Like, so the whole point is these are mega spicy and shit. Long story short, they bring out these 2 servings of meatballs. We all eat one. And we're just like, holy fuck, our brain ignites instantly when you put this in your mouth. I'm like chewing it and stuff, and I'm like, instantly tears running down my face. Our Chinese mate as well, same thing. He eats one. He's just like, yep, that's how I remember it. It's been a while since I had one. He's like, yep, that's all I need. I'm eating one. It was 2 servings of like 4 each. So we've eaten 2. Roddy's had one, and he's like, oh yeah, that is pretty spicy. But I've ordered 8 of these. So Roddy goes on to eat the other 6 of these fucking meatballs. Each one was literally like pouring jet fuel into your fucking body. And he eats the entire thing. 2 full servings of these fucking meatballs. And we're just sitting there looking at him like, you're fucking crazy. He's like, Kevin's like, no, it's fine. Like, you know, your mouth gets used to it. It's pretty hot, don't get me wrong, but like, it's all good. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Except that's not, because of course, fucking message Roddy like a day or 2 later when I get home, and I'm like, hey, so how was that flight, man? He's just like, he's like, that was the worst flight of all time. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, you need to take a shit out, a nasty one. He's like, it wasn't just that. He's like, I was in physical pain. He was like cramped up, sweating off his face like crazy. His stomach was having sharp pains the entire flight, and he was writhing around in his seat in pain and having to like run to the toilet to like, I don't know if he vomited, but I think he might have been just having like the runs and vomiting, but it was like full sharp pains. He was in agony for this entire flight from China to the Netherlands. He said he's sitting there sweating, and he's like stinking so bad because his body kept sweating, and he was just getting chills and shit. It was like almost food poisoning levels, but also just his body being like, what the fuck did you put inside me? So that's Roddy's story of how Roddy eats a lot of spicy food, and no matter how many times he's warned, 4 times the waiter came back to confirm, are you guys fucking sure you want 2 servings of this? There's only 3 of you. Roddy doesn't back away from a fight. Roddy is a madman, a legend, and he fucking. And I actually, as much as I make fun of him for that choice, I also admire him for it, because a man who can dive headfirst into a pit filled with vipers, well, that's a man I want casting my StarCraft. Anyways, long story aside, let's talk about this semi-final, shall we? So far, 4 probes for 3 SCVs, Alien and a Reaper. I think it's gone okay for both sides. I don't really know if there's a big lead right now. There's only 1 gate production. The 2nd and 3rd gateway are really late. Meanwhile, though, where's the 2nd and 3rd barracks? They're a little late as well. I think it equals out to be pretty even. And it's a great map for Terran. So interesting that Zest didn't veto this. I wonder if Zest took out Blackburn instead, maybe? Zest does play this in PvT quite a bit, so he very rarely actually vetoes this. So tanks, he's got a Raven for safety, does special. This is not the fastest push with the Raven tank variant, but I think we're going to see that barracks maybe swap off the tech lab. Who knows, maybe he just non-stop builds tanks. I wouldn't mind, on such a small map, non-stop tank production is pretty incredible. And I mean, we've got, what, 4 Blink Stalkers? And what's interesting here is Zest is going into the transition very quickly, so he's not over-committing to Stalkers. I think he's... Oh, no, he does have 6 Stalkers, actually. He's got... Wait, what? Oh, he's got 2 Adepts in there as well. 2 Stalker, 2 Adept drop. Watch out for the Raven. The Raven Viking. Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh, he's dead. That's gonna die. That's gonna die. That was a huge mistake for Zest to turn around there. He loses a full Warp Prism. Now, these depots, I don't like this depot placement. Yeah, that's something I'm always a little iffy on. He can unload the bunker and just A-move this, though. Oh, he was in range of the Stalkers. Well done, well done. Save the depot! He saves it just barely. Got to get back to the bunker, back to the tank range. There we go. That's a great trade for SpeCial, who, I mean, he's going for a big 2-base setup already. This is going to make it a very powerful situation. And since he's already got 2 tanks out, I'd love to see him keep up tank production, but his 4th gas is a little slow, and I think he pulled off that gas temporarily. So you can see that his tank production's halted because he just does not have enough income for that. Meanwhile, single Viking, he's going to just send that into harass, try and get a little bit of info. Might wish he'd left it, actually, when he sees that his opponent's going Colossus play. Observers up there to the left to see if any drops sneak out. Stalkers at the front. It's a very short map. I like that. He sees gateways, he sees Stalkers, and he just turns around. Good awareness here by SpeCial. He's going to start shifting those tanks forward. Oh, they're a little exposed. And Zest gets a Marine. Pulls out. Colossus charge, and going up to 6 gateways is Zest. Now, Zest is not probing right now, and that's very wise. If he can just get out enough Colossus charge, he'll be good. Raven does find the Observer. The Observer backs the fuck out of there, though, and that at least scares the vision away. Now, SpeCial right now, he's got a lot of extra depots. Too many, I would argue. He's actually got to think about, are we going 3rd CC or 4th and 5th barracks? Either one, I think, is fine here. He's going to wait for the 3rd tank. He's starting Viking production. That's a lot of anti-Colossus power. He does lose a Marine there. Picks up the wrong Marine with the Medevac to try and save it. And he's got to be careful. Force fields. He's got to be careful. Oh, 1-2. A Marauder and 2 Marines go down. Stalkers are very weak, but Zest here is just chipping away. And he's got 6 gateways up. 2 more are finishing and warping in right now. So it's going to be 8 gateways. A Zealot's coming in. And he's just delayed the siege ups. He's bought himself so much time. Zest, a master of just shaving off units, pulling back, shaving off units, pulling back. I would actually love him to have another battery in the back. He's got one there, though. He's out of energy for now, but battery overcharge is a damn good ability. He's going to come forward. Notice he wants to keep the Marines behind. The bio's too far back. SpeCial has got to pull that bio forward. He's kind of stuck behind his tanks right now. His bio should be positioned up here. He's going to try and go for it. Interference Matrix goes down. Great force fields, though, by Zest to buy time. Doesn't matter, though, because this bio is doing huge damage. The Vikings are getting focused down by the Stalkers. Ooh, great Zealot flank from behind. Is that enough, though? Gets one of the tanks, 2 of the tanks go down. If he can kill this Colossus with the bio, I don't think it matters too much, as this should be a game-winning push for SpeCial. Of course, guys, yes, I do have the scoreboard wrong. I apologize for that. It is, of course, a 1-0 advantage to Zest so far. But this is looking like a really good play for SpeCial. Now, he might want to just chill for a moment here. But no. He pushes Zest over and breaks him on Beckett. GG. Okay, we're going into Light Shade. And I would like to see a very normal opening. From our Terran opponent, Terran player down here in the bottom right, guys. I think the real risk here is his natural getting fucked up on this map. And I think he's been a bit tricksome with his openings. 2 racks Reaper, proxy racks, this sort of stuff. I wouldn't mind a back to basics beginning to this game with a quick bunker. This is Psystorm Gaming SpeCial. His opponent in the top left-hand side of the map representing Dragons, Phoenix, and Gaming, and always sending people unsolicited, yet well-received pictures of his Dragon Phoenix. This is Zest. Dragon Pictures Gaming, Zest. Zest is, of course, looking around for proxies. Now, a lot of people do this recently where they also come back in. You want to check here around 1 minute because that will usually catch an SCV coming in to build an eBay. So with the way he's doing it, I would argue there's a chance an SCV does slip by him and start, and he could get eBay blocked without realizing it, right? Because you'd already want to have pulled probes, because that normally starts eBay block about 1 minute, and you normally want to put down a Nexus about 1:25. If it's Nexus before Cybercore, about 1:35 if it's Core before the Nexus. And indeed it is this game, Core before the Nexus. So he's going to return that gas. No, yeah, you got to take the Nexus, bud. And as we said, about 1:30, 1:32. This is, of course, with a slightly delayed probe scout, but, you know, he was still losing minerals while going around checking what's up. Sees the command center on time on the natural and SpeCial. His Marines should be out quick enough to defend that SCV. You don't want to lose any build time there. Oh, he hides it. Okay, tries to hide it. Delaying the... Oh, he delays that second Marine. Now that's interesting. Adept, of course, will get chrono boosted. No, he decides to go economic. Okay, I think just seeing the Marine, he's like, oh, you're gonna have a bunker. So he's not even chrono boosting the Adept. Zest might even keep it at home just to deny scouting. I think because you've seen Marine first, usually you'd go across the map, but because SpeCial's the kind of guy who likes a delayed Reaper, he might do that. Are you Australian? Yes, I am Australian. Welcome to the stream. RVS Soldier. Hellion Starport. We're gonna have that reactive Marine production. So once again, he's trying to skip out of the bunker, and he will get away with it. Thankfully. I feel like these openings, man, they can get you in trouble if those Adepts get chronoed across the map. Gets away with it though. It's going to be an Adept into a Stalker, Blink coming in, and a second gateway on the natural. We expect a Robo to go down there in the near future. The question is, does Zest stick with that 4-gate Blink that he's been enjoying lately, or does he go for the 2-gate Robo third base? We haven't really been seeing much of that recently. Terrans have so many different aggressive options that the Protoss seem afraid to do that. Hellion will come in. Hellion can deal with the Adept with the help of like SCVs and stuff, but you've got a red hit point SCV already in the mineral line. So he pulls back the 2 weak SCVs. That's the main micro that you need to do to try and mitigate an Adept getting in your base, is getting those weak SCVs away from it. Taste my drill! Taste my drill, foul Protoss! I shall slay thee! For those who don't know, most SCVs are LARPers. And, I don't think this is going to do too much. Oh, great Stalker block there. That's, oh, good defense by Zest. 0 damage. 4 Marines don't really achieve anything. And the Adept went down for no direct damage, but it denied mining and got a full scout. Now, did he see... He saw the Starport building a tech lab. So going Cloak Banshee here seems a mite predictable. Nice quick third base for Zest. Now, that is 4 Hellions, guys. He's going to see the third base, kills the probe on it, but does lose a Hellion for that. Not free. A SpeCial playing mech? I don't think he's playing mech, but there's just something about, I'm like, wait, you have 4 aliens, you're making Cloak Banshees, you're making tanks. I mean, even though you're making Marines right now, they could just be an early support unit, essentially. Alright, so going up to 4 gateways now. This is, of course, after going 3rd base and 4th gas. Hellions. Oh, I like the spotting Hellions, so we'll see if Stalkers run through the middle of the map. And he's building a medevac. Oh, that's cute. So a single Cloaked Banshee, just to be a nuisance. Now, where are the observers? There is one right there, but it's going off to the right. So that Banshee could do some damage. Ooh. Very nicely done. And you know what? Actually, it didn't... Seeing a Tech Lab Starport's totally normal because he goes Raven in the previous games. So of course Zest wasn't expecting this. Oh, and I love it. I love it. He stays a bit too long, though. Does get a bit too horny, but hey, he gets out. Oh, and he's going to get one more probe as well. And then he can just fly that away. Now the Hellion drop can come in. The Stalkers and the Sentries get lured to the 3rd base. Uh-oh. Oh, he does have a shield battery, though. So he's okay. As long as he kills one of these Hellions, they'll stop one-shotting. He gets 1, 2. Can he get a 3rd? He gets 3 volleys off. Oh, nice. And he just focus fires 1 probe. Because each time you shoot that, even with 2 Hellions does 28 damage. They only have 20 shields. So that means you're doing 8 hull damage per shot, which means even with 2 Hellions, you can kill a probe in 3 shots, even with endless shield battery healing. As long as these shots are synced up. Templar Archives is on the way. Looks like Zest is going to be going for... no gas on the... It depends. If he takes gases on the 3rd, then he's going Psystorm. Still chronoing probe, so he might try to get to that Psystorm. SpeCial has a 3rd CC. I love that SpeCial's one of the few Terrans who's still playing a quick 3rd command center before going up the barracks count build. I think these builds are great, and he actually added an extra Banshee, delayed. Wow, very cute. Unfortunately for him, that is what we call a perfect defensive ring of observers. If Zerg players, this is what you need to do with your overlords. fucking what Zest is doing here. Wouldn't it be funny if they just flew right through this gap? You're fucking kidding me! No, they'll get spotted. Oh, no, no, no. This is not going to do it. There's an observer on you, bro. There's an observer on you, bro. Feedback as well. The Banshees don't find anything. He does see the High Templar, though, which is good. So at least he knows he's up against Psystorm. And in this scenario, if you were still building tanks, you'd swap into Widow Mines because you know against the charge lot storm focused army, tanks are going to be worth fuck all. They're good versus Colossus Stalker. They're not good versus Zealot Archon. I mean, it's still they help, but it's hard to make them work. Instead, it's Widow Mines, 5 racks, and the Ghost Academy. All off 3 bases here. Only 1 engineering bay. So SpeCial still playing a more aggressive style. We don't expect a super quick 4th command center or anything like that. Stalkers come in, grab 2 SCVs. Lovely little pickoffs. And he wants to do it there, but the tanks will say, get out of here, dickhead. Still gets an SCV before leaving. Whew. Oh, he's going to stim through the middle. Now that's cute. He's trying to catch those stalkers before they get home, I guess, but that's not going to find anything. He's hoping to clean up this high ground and catch him there. Guys, that is a storm drop. SpeCial has no business being on this side of the map. This is a fake pressure for all intents and purposes. Oh my god. And he runs towards the Warp Prism hoping for the snipe. Oh, I mean, his Widow Mines get some good shots, but he just lost so much bio. You know, he's trying to exert pressure, but the vision of Zest is so dominant. And I'll tell you what Zest is such a specialist at in this matchup. As much as we make fun of him for taking late 4th bases, for not building that many workers, and for just making giant armies off 3 base, he's an expert at managing his observers. He always has such good observer vision. They avoid scans. He moves them. When he was in the defense, they were further back. Now he's on the offense. He's shuffled them further forward, and he's letting SpeCial overextend into him. So despite the economic advantage that SpeCial's had from that early 3rd command center, he now finds himself, oh, he's still up 15 army supply. That tells you how good his position was before he threw away those bio units. Now, you've got to watch out for the storm drop here. There's no Widow Mines out here. And not that much of a wall either. That being said, there's not many Zealots. SpeCial doesn't have much vision. Dropping a High Templar. Oh, he's going to take the tank volley with the Zealot so that he can storm drop. Oh, he does lose the drop though. Does get a storm though to save the last High Templar. That was okay for SpeCial. The Vikings and everything, well done. Catches one of the observers, which is nice. Does limit the vision a little bit. He does have to be a bit careful. Gets that one High Templar. And this army for Zest is so small. Zest is making double forge upgrades, and he's making Colossus 3 at a time and a DT Shrine. Zest's like, hold on, buddy, let's not fight, The thing is, Zest always overcommits to one, SpeCial always commits to one push really hard. He goes, oh, I gotta kill you. And he opens himself up to things like this Zealot run by, which are gonna do so much damage. I mean, this is a great position for him. Good SCV pull. Didn't mineral walk him, so a few do get trapped. But losing a few depots not as bad as losing every SCV on that base. Now, still no 4th command center for SpeCial. As I said, he does like to commit a bit heavy, but he's adding double upgrade armory. He's adding enhanced shockwaves. Oh, I don't think he landed the EMP there the way he probably would have liked, but he's killed the 4th. The Colossi are coming forward. There's still a few Vikings that will help with that. Those Vikings do get focused. One of them focused down. Those Vikings need to shoot. They were getting stutter step with the bios. They took a little long there. Oh, the Colossus is going to clean this up way too efficiently. He needs to get his medevacs out of there. SpeCial's just got to salvage whatever he can right now. He's losing a few too many units in the tail end of this. Oh, man. I mean, another Widow Mine hit does take out a Zealot, damages some more, but he's got to gather his units together. And even though he kills the 4th, trades kind of well in some regards. There's no 4th command center. His SCVs weren't mining even on his natural there. Oh, no. He's got to put those SCVs back on his 3rd. And he doesn't have that next step. And the thing is, there's a good reason why. SpeCial doesn't want to play late game. He feels it's very Protoss favored. So he wants to commit hard to those pushes. And he didn't have the information we had. We had the information that he actually probably could have pushed a little bit earlier with an even bigger army, potentially. And killed Zest, right? But then once he was pushing, he needed to maybe not be as committed to said push. And it's really hard for him to get map control, though. Ideally, he'd have a few Marine spotters out, something, maybe Widow Mines, anything to kind of see when these Zealot armies are running across the map. But he doesn't have that right now. And guess what? The observers see his Widow Mine drop coming. His attempts to pull Zest's attention away are just sacrifices. They're just sacrifices. because those Stalkers, 8+2 Blink Stalker shots, one shot a medevac, and they end up just being sacrifices to the great Lord Zest. Now, there's very few Vikings out, and there is 5 Colossus on the map. So this should be game now. SpeCial just does not have the tech. He's down on army supply, even on upgrades. Well, he's actually a little behind on upgrades when +2 kicks in, so SpeCial's looking pretty dead right now. He's going to try and catch these Stalkers, but the Zealots, the Colossi come in, and bloody well played by Zest. I mean, this was some kind of wild greed off the back of his Storm. You saw as his army was getting chased down, just the luxury that Zest had through this Observer map dominance, and it makes us go, well, fuck, do we always need to build a Raven versus this dickhead? Or do we just need to be better at spotting Observers? I don't know. All I know is that's a lot of laser beams, and this Terran army is getting shredded. I bless the storms down in light shade. Indeed, Professor Rue. And Zest, a big Toto fan. Whew, GG's. 2-1 advantage for Zest. Down here in the bottom left. This is Dragon Phoenix Gaming Zest. Up here in the top right, representing Psystorm Gaming, it is SpeCial. So if you guys, I'll teach you guys how to do Australian. Speaking American's fucking boring, right? America already won a cultural victory. This is gas first, by the way, so it looks like a delayed command center build probably for SpeCial. Hellions, Widowmines, that sort of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if SpeCial does the Hellion Widowmine dive on the natural, where you drive 4 Hellions in and 4 Widowmines. So to speak Australian, I'll teach you guys, okay? So what you want to do is you want to just remember, imagine syllables as being optional, and basically you just want to squish the word down. So America, right? You want to go America, fucking America. So no, you don't. You want to make sure you lazily kind of fall down the steps of one part of the word to the next without properly pronouncing any part. And whenever there's extra syllables or letters or anything, you want to just remove those. Think of them as optional, okay? So not Australia, Melbourne, Australia. No. Melbourne. So it's Melbourne. And you can say Australia is obviously the most short version, or you can go Australia. So if you're going to go for it, I was doing some bench press to work out my latissimus dorsi muscles. Australians are like, fucking go do some fucking push-ups down the gym. That's a bad example because those are short words, but you just want to fucking squish it together. And it's a much more efficient way of speaking. People are like, oh, you guys speak so funny. It's way more efficient and it's just better in my opinion. Guys, SpeCial is pulling out his troll builds and I fucking love it. Zest has not scouted at all. And SpeCial's gonna float his fucking factory in the main. Oh my god. Okay, so we've got a starport going down behind this. He is building Marines 2 at a time, so he should be able to defend the Adept. And he's gonna try and build like 3 Hellions and then just run them in. Now the cool thing about this is lower commitment than proxying, say, a factory and a starport, right? If you think about it, it's just not as big of a commitment. Now, of course, if it gets caught partway through before it's ready, and there's like a shield battery in the main, you're kind of fucked. But it is not getting caught. And arguably, he could actually go in right now. Oh, what? Oh, Zest saw the delayed command center and he immediately knows that this is an option? Oh, what a hacker. Zest! Cheating. Now, the Hellion is still going to cause trouble because it's already inside the base. And there's another one that will be popping in a few seconds. He's going to get quite a bit of damage stacked up on these probes. Oh, it doesn't quite get that last shot off. I would have liked to see that Hellion go straight to the natural rather than go for that shot. I think he should have ran straight to the natural and done a little loop-de-loop. It's obviously scary because you got 3 Adept shading on you, but we did see how quickly that died. Now, SpeCial, I would build a bunker if I was him. It's a very dangerous scenario, and I would... Oh, it's kind of scary though, right? So he's going to move out. Oh, Marines plus Viking. That Oracle might need to recall. Is he going to go for kills before he leaves? Oh, what a greedy little boy. Ah, the Marines, bad micro by SpeCial. He should have sent those around the left. He loses 3 SCVs, including the very valuable Depot one, and that overall is a very successful hold. His attack has done jack all. I do like the factory landing and building Widow Mines, and actually, ooh, Oracle got lazy. Does go down. Now, if you can get a Widow Mine burrowed on the 3rd base location, that'll be fantastic. But the Adepts are going to see it. Ah, it's a bummer. Burrow! Ah, it'll go down. Or will it? The Viking's like, hey, dickhead. Hey, dickhead, I'm going to land in here. The Oracle's going to have to turn on its laser beam. He's like, well, you can't shoot me when I'm in the air, dickhead. Oh, if he can get that Oracle, that'd be huge. Oh, he gets it! Chad Viking, great control here by SpeCial. He's got 2 more barracks on the way. He's trying to keep up his SCV production to get back in this game. He's got an 8 Marine drop on the right side, which he appears to be sending home right now. I think that's a mistake. I'd love to see him. Oh, he could have denied that 3rd base with those 8 Marines. He actually has 17 Marines right now up against what? Just an Oracle, a couple Stalkers, and Adepts. Oh, it's a shame that he's pulling back right now, guys. Obviously, he's trying to use this medevac to defend this Oracle, but where's this Viking? Oh, Viking's going to cut it off. That's another Oracle. It's about to die, guys. That's the 3rd Oracle going to go down. So that Viking kills it. 2 Oracle kills on that Viking. There is a Widow Mine there and here. A lot of Stalkers and Adepts coming, but I think with how many Marines he has, 21 Marines, he's actually good against that, and he's going to send the medevac to join up with these Widow Mines, so he can elevate that in. I think with this Marine count, a bunker, easiest hold of his life. This is a really bad fight for Zest right now. Zest coming on in, loses a few units, but he does have Oracle number 4. SpeCial's like, can you fuck off, dude? Get out of my base! Get out of my base! Oh my god! And Zest is handling this chaos pretty damn well, dude. That Widow Mine only going to get a single probe. This one will get the burrow off, but the probes force it away from the mineral line. Oh, he's not going to kill it though. Probes don't do enough damage. And unburrow burrow, unburrow burrow, unburrow burrow, unburrow burrow. Nicely done. Nicely done here by SpeCial. And he'll let it fire now. Gets 3 probes, not bad. Widow Mine there is going to catch a Stalker as well. Check it. Big boy Widow Mine. Very nice. Factory goes off to the side to hide. SpeCial's made the best of an absolute shit show of an opening going. His units lost. He has killed 3 Oracles, 2 Adepts, a Stalker, 6 probes, and a pylon. But he has lost a lot of SCVs. And there's a 3rd base up. So if Zest can get up to just mass Blink Stalkers, which it seems to be his goal is right now, is just 8-gate Blink. It's going to be Blink versus Bio. And guess what? There's no medevacs out. He's got the starport, but he doesn't have the gas for it. He's trying to take that 4th gas now. Oracle comes in and says, hello, I am super annoying. I am super annoying. That Oracle, up to 10 kills, dude. Probe sees the army coming as well. This is a way better army for SpeCial than for Zest. But Zest has 2 shield batteries and 3 force fields available. You can't push in there, SpeCial. No, watch out for the force fields. Oh, this is so well done by Zest. Kind of intimidates him. I love the way Zest runs forward as if he wants to fight, even though he doesn't. So SpeCial's like, shit, I gotta clear these rocks. Now SpeCial's starting a 3rd, and I think as long as he doesn't take a terrible fight, this is not the longest term army, right? Stalker Sentry. So there's an argument here for SpeCial to slow things down and say, okay, look, let's just fucking chill for a minute, and we might be okay. The Viking's gonna go land there. Shield battery and cannon in the main. Nothing defending the natural. Viking lands there. Oracle will come to try and clear that up, but he lifts it and he says, get fucked, Oracle. Is this the 2nd time? Dude! Oh, it barely gets out of there. And then he lands it again. Oh, sick plays. Cool moves there from SpeCial, who is still down about 10 SCVs, but that's acceptable in this matchup. He has a big Marine Marauder count and force fields, though. Plus that battery. That's not I don't think this is a good fight for SpeCial. Similar to that earlier game, I think he's got to pull back. I know he feels like he's got to force the fight right now, but Zest has so many Stalkers, and he cannot be fighting near shield battery against such a heavy Blink Stalker force field army. Yeah, he's trying to hang out here, but I think he's just a little bit too close to the Protoss territory. There's slow Zealots even doing a fair bit of tanking on the left side. He's just a bit too low on hit points, because look, now he wants to capitalize in, but there's more shield batteries behind that. Zest doing such a good job on the defense, and SpeCial is getting diminishing returns in these fights. They're starting to turn really in Zest's favor. Now, this does keep Zest locked on a low economy, right? Swapping into charge with what? With not that much going on behind it. Is there a factory? Where is... he's still only building Widow Mines one at a time. That's a real bummer, because that factory is still out on the left side of the map. He doesn't have a new factory at home yet. Ooh, great Widow Mine shot there. And the Bio is still maintaining a forward position, but let's keep an eye on that unit's lost tab. I think that was actually in his favor earlier in this game, but it's going back in the Protoss favor now. Similar economy though, so that's arguably okay for Terran. It's just that, you know, Stalker's very good for chipping away at Bio armies, aren't they? Now, it's up to 5 barracks. He's adding Liberators. He's got the Reactor and the Tech Lab going down on his 4th and 5th barracks. Meanwhile, it's 7-gate Blink Stalker Sentry Charge. He's not out of the woods yet, is Zest. He's got his Robo Bay on the way, but he's still on a pretty low-tier composition, and he doesn't have the benefit of all those observers that he had in the previous games. Now, there are some Widow Mines here for zoning and the like. Accidental pick up there for a moment. Ghost Academy is on the way. For special, good versus Storm, not so effective versus Colossus and Disruptors. Now, I think if you want to play just a pure Bio Mine style, and skip Vikings, you can do it. Cure and Clem show us how to do it all the time, but you've really got to make sure you get a quick 4th up. Now, look at that. The Stalkers pull him out of position. He runs over some units in the middle of the map. The Stalkers bait him away from his 3rd base. He loses a lot of Stalkers there, though. Oh, my lord. But that 3rd base, SCVs need to mineral walk up to his natural, I believe. Yeah, that's his only option. He's going to try and do it, but those Stalkers kept him very busy. Oh, this multi-prong from Zest does a good bit of economic damage, but 3 probes die at the same time. A great little Liberator sieging in there. The Stalker's still chipping away. Dude, this multi-prong from Zest, what a fucking nightmare to play against, hey? Oh, I don't know if that's in range. Does he get... Okay, it is. Not bad. Still denying 2 mineral patches and unsieging it as well. Uh-oh. Here comes the direct push, though. Oh, my God. It's a lot of Zealots. It's a lot of Zealots. Oh, my God. This is a crazy push. EMP's there, but he needed to get back in the choke point a bit more. I think he needed to stutter step a little bit further back, and Zest just catching SpeCial off guard and brutally pushing in at the right time. Well done, Zest. Absolutely relentless. Fucking fantastic multi-prong.